So I want to talk about Khalil Mack because I don't think Khalil Mack gets talked about enough. Khalil Mack is a star. He's one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and he has been for the last, 4 to 5 years. He really has. He's a tremendously talented player. And when it's all said and done, I believe Khalil Mack is going to be an NFL Hall of Famer. Now, if Khalil Mack retired today, I don't think he would be voted into the Hall of Fame. Let's look at Khalil Mack's career so far. Khalil Mack has been in the NFL for 7 years, and those 7 years have been really excellent. They really have. But if he retired today, I don't think he'd be a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't quite put him in the category with J.J. Watt, Richard Sherman, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, defenders over the past couple of years that have just dominated, and guys that right now today, if they retire, they're going to make the Hall of Fame first ballot. I don't think Khalil Mack's in that category, okay? Because I think those guys have been more dominant, and they just, quite frankly, have a better body of work and have played longer than Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack isn't even 30 years old yet. He's still only 29 years old, so he has a long way to go. He still has a ways to go. He has a long time to add on to his numbers. So 7 years into his career, we are, and so far through those 7 years, he has 70.5 sacks, 97 tackles for loss. He's a 3-time first-team All-Pro. He's had 6 Pro Bowl appearances, and he's a 2016 Defensive Player of the Year award winner. And that's all great. But I don't think voters would give him the benefit of the doubt for just being great for 7 years. I think that once we start approaching Khalil Mack getting to around maybe 10 Pro Bowl appearances, maybe around 100 sacks, maybe another Defensive Player of the Year award eventually, I think that's then when when voters will say, Khalil Mack, Hall of Famer. Because you have to sustain success for a long time. You don't just get credit for 7 great years unless you're all-time great in those 7 years. And Khalil Mack, he's been really, really good. But not quite all-time great good, okay? Khalil Mack, in fact, has never led the NFL in any single statistical category. Never led the NFL in sacks. Never led the NFL in tackles for loss. Okay, so, what are we doing here? But I will say Khalil Mack is a tremendously talented player. I do believe he will continue to add on to his numbers. And I think eventually we're going to say, when it's all said and done, Khalil Mack was one of the best and most dominant players of his era. And he's a freak of nature. And he'll have the numbers and the accomplishments eventually to become an NFL Hall of Famer. But right now he's not quite there. But when it's all said and done, I do believe he will be there. And by the way, the Raiders are looking even more and more dumber by the day because they drafted Khalil Mack and they couldn't retain him. And Chicago has really benefited from having Khalil Mack on their roster. Meanwhile, the Raiders roster, especially on defense, hasn't been very good. So that's how I feel about Khalil Mack. He will be a Hall of Famer going forward once his career is over. And I think the Raiders really messed up letting him go. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.